Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, as I was quality checking my previous video, I was debating whether I should try and explain what I'm doing as I'm coding, but I realized that's a little too much for my tiny little brain. So I figure I'll try and make a short companion video for each of my freestyle coding videos, just discussing what it is I'm doing and the technical bits, if it merits it. I'm not sure whether I'll do it for every single freestyle. But for this one, it's pretty simple. I'm just stubbing in the class here. We're not doing anything except defining that there's an item. Same thing for inventory. Obviously, for the character, we were starting to build it out. These are all class variables, so they are defined outside of an instance. So if you watch the freestyle video, you notice when I was printing out dict that isAlive was not showing up unless we assigned it inside die, which is basically because this self variable here refers to an instance of this character class. So the character class right here has all these variables defined, but if we create a new character, that instance won't have its own variables assigned. It will just have these default class variables. So that's what was happening with this dict. Let's see. We just created these basic variables here to remind myself what I want each one to be. So, a float. We wanted attacks to not be floating points, because I thought in my head that would make things more complicated. Let's see. I should actually change this in the next episode and make this alive instead of isAlive, so that I can follow a better naming convention, making all class variable or class methods, lowercase, and make all classes uppercase, just for a better naming convention there. Let's see what else. Is there anything complicated here? I think I already explained this in the video. This keywargs is basically just saying that we want to accept name pairs and just any amount of name pairs. We don't have a set amount. So it's just like a dictionary here. You have a key and a value, and that's basically all that's saying, is that we'll accept any size dictionary. Whether we actually do anything with that or not is totally dependent on what happens in the init method. So in this case, I'm just saying here, if the key name exists within the dictionary keywargs, that I want to take the value of that and stick it into name. Same thing with health. If the key health exists within the keywargs dictionary, I'm going to stick that in there. Otherwise, we're going to do 1. Same thing with name. We're going to do default name. This doesn't exist yet. We're just stubbing that in. This basically just takes the instance variable and passes in an integer, which is then value here. We do 80 minus defense, which is 1. And we can't set defense yet. I'll probably do that in the next video. And damage here. This is a little messy. We're basically just combining these two by saying inside damage we're going to call the mitigate method here, and then take that result, and we're going to do self minus the result and assign it to health. That's all kind of messy. Then after that we'll say if we're not alive anymore, assign dead, which is these two methods here. So this is kind of just turning into a massive border clusterfuck where it's just using all these other methods. And since it's really only supposed to assign the damage to health, I shouldn't have all these in here. I should have a different thing, which is like take damage or something. I'm not sure exactly what I'd call it, but it would be a different method that isn't in charge of all these different things. And then, yep, this is just creating a class and instantiating the different values with the init method. And then the dict is just anything inside the instance that has been assigned to the instance. Whereas if I were to do class.dict, it would give me these values instead. There we go. And this is just a memory space because we're defining the function init, which basically just points to memory and says do these things. Mit is also a function, so you can just see all these different things. Dict is a cool thing to look at, to inspect different classes. Alright, I think that's gonna wrap it up. This wasn't a terribly complicated one, but surprisingly took 20 minutes. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. I'll try and upload at least a 10-minute segment every day. Well, we'll see if I can actually accomplish that or not. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you want to support me, maybe share it with somebody else who is interested in Python coding, gaming, RPG things. Alright, later.